Oh dear, my vocation story. We're going back a long way, of course, to my childhood. I was raised in St. Carthus Parish in Tweed, born in Peterborough, however. Lived a couple of years there until moved back to Tweed. My parents both came from that area, from Stokoe and Bogart. And there was lots of family there. It was a parish of great devotion. I was blessed to have wonderful priests in the parish. To my memory, they were all wonderful priests. Because it was a small community and a close-knit Catholic community, I really got to know our priests very well, and I was an altar server starting from the age of 10 years old, grade 5. I became an altar server. Thank God for the religious sisters, the Sisters of Providence, wonderful sisters. We had a group of them at the convent in downtown Tweed, and they were responsible for teaching and for the music at the church, and for looking after the altar servers and so many other activities with children in the parish. So I was trained by the sisters and served from the time that I was in grade 5 right up until I was ordained a priest. So I was still serving in what existed then, grade 13, before I went off to university. A cute little story is that when I was an altar server in grade 8, the pastor of the, no, not the pastor, but one of the associate pastors, I won't say who it was, suggested that some of the altar servers could go to the seminary to have a visit to the seminary, thinking that, well, maybe some of those young lads might one day want to become a priest. So he asked this one and that one and that one and that one and took them all up to the seminary, and he didn't take me. And none of them became priests, but there you go, God's sense of humor. I was the one that wasn't asked, but I'm the one who became the priest. Well, having grown up in that atmosphere, of course, and being encouraged to think about priesthood, and knowing really good priests, so it was in the back of my head, even when I was a little kid, well, maybe I'd like to be a priest. When I left Tweed and went off to Toronto to St. Michael's College, having graduated from high school. Well, that was hippie period. We're talking 1967 when I went off to university, the fall of 1967. And if anybody else has lived through that, you know that it was a heady time. Lots of changes were happening in the world at that time. And what was going on, of course, was the hippie period, the sexual revolution, and the old values were being questioned, all authority was being questioned, and that was part and parcel of the university experience. But in many ways I was, I guess, shielded from all of that because of the background that I'd had and the upbringing that I had had, and also the sense that God was real. So I had the church at the university. I was going regularly, oftentimes to daily mass, right at the church at St. Michael's College, or St. Basil's Church. And I met a really good friend, Michael Savara, and Michael recognized in me something that perhaps I had repressed myself, and he kept saying to me, "Don't you think you should be a priest? Don't you think you should be a priest?" And okay, I'll think about that one. And because I had gone to university thinking, oh, I'm going to be a teacher. That's what I wanted. I want to be a teacher. No one else was going to the seminary. Why would I go to the seminary? I want to be a teacher. And I wanted to teach modern languages. And I still have a great love for languages. But in my first year of university, this thought kept haunting me. And Michael kept reminding me that maybe I should consider it. So in the summer that year, I took a Cursillo. And at that Cursillo, it came loud and clear to me that, yes, God wanted me to take the risk, to dive in, to say yes. And so I went from there to talking to my priest, and my priest got me in touch with the bishop, and lo and behold, that fall I was in the seminary. But I discovered by my time in the seminary, and it was, the time in the seminary was a great blessing in many ways, but it was a time of confusion in the church and in the seminary itself. The whole structure, as I said, in the culture was changing. Well, the seminary was changing fast, and so I was sort of caught in that maelstrom of change. So there was every possibility, like so many others who were in the seminary at that time, that I could have left, but God kept me there, and God brought me to the moment of final commitment to living a life of celibacy for the people of God, giving my whole life, and of commitment in the holy priesthood. So I was ordained on April the 27th in 1974, along with Father Tim Shea and Father John Hibbert. And, well, the rest is history.